What is up, Nuggets? It's your boy, Killer Pizza, here with a brand new video for you rascals and rapscallions out there. As always, I hope everybody's having a great Friday, watching some spooky movies and whatnot. I know this is a bit random that I'm putting out a video at this time on a Friday when I normally put my stuff out on Sundays, but truth be told, I got called about an hour ago from my job and they said I didn't have to come into work today, which it's a winter miracle. I'm so happy about that. I mean, obviously, I don't want to lose 8 hours of pay. Might use some of that flex PTO or whatever. But, you know, if you're anywhere in the Midwest or Michigan especially, you know how brutal it's been. This has been one of the roughest winters so far. It is below zero all day long today. And I work second shift. I would have been outside till midnight. At that point, below, I think, 3 or 4 below. So I'm pretty happy just to stay inside and watch some scary movies and whatnot. And also a couple like life updates I want to throw your guys' way. If you haven't seen me post about this on my Instagram, pretty much I am going back to first shift on February 2nd. So not this upcoming Monday, but the next one, which is going to be a bit of an adjustment. I don't really like waking up early, but I figure I can have more normal person time. And with that being said, I've decided I'm going to try to make a bit of a run on my YouTube channel. You know, I normally just put out videos on Sunday, but I'm going to try to put out 2-3 videos a week and maybe a live stream once a week. And I think I'm less than 20 subscribers to 1,500. So if you haven't subscribed yet, please give it a subscribe. You guys know over the years I never ask for anybody to subscribe to my channel, but you know, why not? Let's give it a shot this time. And to anybody that's subscribed recently, thank you very much. I appreciate it. But anyways, with that being said, let's hop right into the video. We have my first physical media haul of the year. This is my first pickups. I believe I have a dozen titles, including a Vinegar Syndrome package I'm going to open up. So with that being said, let's hop right into it. So the first movie I picked up is Rambo 3. Now, this is kind of a campy, fun one out of the series. You know, very violent, lots of explosions. It's what you come to expect from First Blood or Rambo. But pretty much, I'm doing a live stream Sunday. Total Recall Volume 3. Carlos is coming back, and we're going to talk action movies, is the idea. So I've kind of loaded up on some Stallone movies in my last purchase. Pretty much I own First Blood and First Blood 2, Rambo 2, and all, you know, those two 4Ks. So I decided, let me grab the rest of these, because that's going to look good on my shelf to have the rest of the titles. So along with that, I got Rambo. I believe this was from 2008. I think I've seen this in the theaters. Very, very violent movie, but this is the fourth out of the series. And then I got Rambo Last Blood. So now I officially have all 5 movies in the Rambo series on 4K. I have definitely never seen this one before. I almost forgot this even existed. The fact that it came out in 2019, like that seems so recent. Granted, that's almost a decade ago. I think just the whole COVID outbreak kind of puts a timestamp on a lot of stuff for that matter. But yeah, I picked up Rambo Last Blood, which I actually heard was pretty good. Next up was a movie I was dying to see for the longest time, and that is The Smashing Machine. Now, when this first got put into production, I was super excited. I wanted to go check this out in theaters. It was out of the theaters so quick I didn't get a chance to see it. And then finally the 4K comes out, and I was having all these issues with the shipping on Amazon. It was like shipping a month. You know, go to the A24 website, wait forever to get it. I was eventually going to rent it, but then I kept checking Amazon, and I got a quick 2-day shipping on this Blu-ray. So for one, I hate how A24 does that, the barcode, but I am not a fan of The Rock's movies by any means, but I'm a very big MMA fan. I mean, I was growing up. I kind of fallen out of it a little bit, but now that it's going to be pretty much free on Paramount Plus, the pay-per-views, so you don't have to pay $30 for the ESPN app and then $80 on top of that, I'm going to actually start watching the events again, starting tomorrow, actually. But I'm a huge fan of this original documentary. If you guys have never seen the original documentary with Mark Kerr, check it out. It's actually free on YouTube if you want to see it. One of my all-time favorite documentaries. And like I said, not a big fan of The Rock, but I just really wanted to see this story, which, to be fair, it was pretty accurate for the most part. There was certain stuff in here that I don't really want to give any spoilers where I said that didn't happen. And, you know, according to the documentary, and certain things that were just shot too much line for line like it was in the documentary, which I didn't really care for that. But overall, I did like this movie. This was pretty good. I had fun with it. You know, it was cool to see like the representation of Pride FC and everybody they had playing the fighters and everything. I like the guy, the boxer who played Igor Volchanchin, which also, if you're a bit of a fan of MMA and you never heard of Igor Volchanchin, Ice Cold, check out some highlights of that guy, man. Very undersized heavyweight, but freaking badass. But this was a pretty fun movie. I would probably say the best performance from The Rock I've seen, which I know isn't exactly saying much. So, to continue on with my Stallone movies, I picked up Tango and Cash. What's there to say about this? Sylvester Stallone and Kurt Russell. Great duo, fun movie. They get locked up, have to get out, and prove their innocence and go after the bad guy. It's been so long since I've seen this, but good movie. I know me and my friend Justin back in the day used to refer to each other as Tango and Cash, so that was kind of fun. But yeah, I got to get some of these Stallone movies down before the stream because I want to talk about a lot of this stuff. Here is one. I don't really have any memory of this movie, if I'm being quite honest. I know I've seen this as a little kid, but that was quite a while ago. But I got the 4K of Cliffhanger. Now, my buddy Carlos, who's going to be on Total Recall Volume 3 tomorrow, my co-host, he was really putting this movie over. He was saying how it's pretty much Die Hard, but in the mountains, and a very violent movie. So Die Hard is one of my all-time favorite movies. So, yeah, I decided to throw this in there, kind of amping up my Stallone collection. And also, shout out to Dead Pit Radio. They did Friday Night Lives, I think, 2 weeks ago, where they were ranking all the Stallone movies with Uncle Bill, Rambo Raff, and Big Money Mark with Millionaire Couch and all that. So they were really putting over a lot of these Stallone movies. I like to listen to a lot of long-form live streams, Dead Pit, Planet CHH, Born to Be Rad, stuff like that when I'm at work. And I was listening to this at work, and I'm just adding stuff into my card as they're putting over certain movies. I'm like, I got to get Cliffhanger. It's been a long, long time. So I'll just show the last of the Stallone movies that I picked up. And that is Over the Top. I love this movie so much, and I loved it so much revisiting it. You know, the concept of it, just arm wrestling, is so 80s, and it seems like, you know, how far can you go with that? But it was a lot of fun. Pretty much Sylvester Stallone picking up his son that he hasn't seen in a very long time and trying to rekindle their friendship, or their relationship, I should say, all while traveling in his big rig truck. And then he's got the arm wrestling tournament at the end, and they kind of played up like pro wrestling with these really big characters and everything. A lot of fun, man, to the point, like, I was looking up the hat he was wearing and thinking I'm about to buy it off Etsy. I was talking to Carlos about this, actually. I was like, I'm about to wear it to the wrestling ring when I get this hat, the next match I have. And then, like, I'm a tag wrestler primarily right now, so when I tag in, turn the hat backwards and get in there and start whooping some ass. That's just my humor. I know it's stupid, but I think that would be pretty funny. But I love this. This was great. Might even have to get some inspired wrestling gear with that font on there. But here's one I definitely didn't need to buy, because I watched this New Year's night. Like, that was my fancy New Year's. At 12:30, I tossed this on Hulu. I'm a big fan of Stavros, the comedian Stavros Halakis. You know, Stavi. But his comedy movie, Let's Start a Cult. It's free on, not free on Hulu. It's on Hulu if you got it. And I just thought, I want this in my collection. I really thought this movie was funny. You know, they don't really make comedy movies anymore, and this was a bit of a throwback. And with Stavros, okay, so hot take. I'm not comparing him to Chris Farley in any means, but just watching a comedic big guy just being clumsy and just stumbling into scenarios and just his humor, it's like he could kind of have a run almost like Farley, in my opinion. You know, not as big. Farley's one of the greatest of all times, but when's the last time we've had like a heavyset, funny comedian in comedy movies? And I thought he just fit the bill so well and so funny. Pretty much the story of this is they have a death pack in the cult, and they leave Stavi behind, and then he finds out the leader of the cult's alive. He finds him, and they try to restart a cult to do the whole thing all over again. But under 90 minutes and a very quick watch, very fun. Good popcorn movie, I would say. Now, here is one I haven't seen since I was a kid, and I watched this last night, and it was fucking amazing. I'm talking Twins with Danny DeVito and Arnold Schwarzenegger. Here I am supposed to watch all these Stallone movies, and I'm watching twins. Just a very fun movie. Two twins created genetically in a lab, and it was supposed to just be one who ends up being Arnold Schwarzenegger, who's created in the lab to be super smart, a genius, very strong, all this stuff, and then he's kept on this island, kind of sheltered, until he finds out he has a twin brother who turns out to be Danny DeVito, clearly not identical twins, and he goes and finds Danny DeVito, who's playing kind of the womanizing dirtbag criminal and everything, and they kind of have the dynamic like that, and it turns into kind of a road movie where they're going to look for their mother, and it actually has some pretty sad moments when they're trying to find the mom that had me pretty bummed out, but obviously it ends with a happy ending. I'm not really giving out any spoilers when it comes to twins. We've all seen this before. One of my favorite Arnold Schwarzenegger performances, I'm being quite honest. I was just loving this movie when I was watching it back again. Just how naive and friendly and nice Arnold plays it is just so funny to me, and the dynamic between the two, amazing. Love this movie. Twins. The last but not least is my Vinegar Syndrome package. I'm not sure what kind of sale they were having this time when I ordered from them, but I already opened this up. And inside we have 3 movies. So first up is the reason I ordered this. Everybody was kind of talking about this. Ghost Keeper. This is apparently a Canadian movie, a wintertime movie. They were saying has like similarities to The Shining, obviously not on such a grand scale or anything, but I'm just a sucker for horror movies, guys. What can I say? And if it's something I've never heard of before, I want to grab it. And I believe this is one that was going somewhat quick, so everybody was kind of saying if you're going to grab this, jump on it now. So I picked up Ghost Keeper. Never seen it before. And next up, I know this already had a release, and I believe this is free on Tubi, and the man himself is kind of an asshole when I met him before, but a legend, the greatest practical effects artist ever, Smoke and Mirrors, the story of Tom Savini. I figured I might as well pick this up. I don't own this. I love me a good documentary, and even though I had a bad experience meeting the guy, he is a legend, and I'm very happy to add this to my collection, Tom Savini, Smoke and Mirrors. And last but not least is a movie. This is kind of the reason I was doing this video today, in a way, because I really wanted to watch this tonight, but I wanted to do the unboxing. This is one that was on the partner labels. I looked at it I watched the trailer. She Came from the Woods. Now this just seems pretty dang sweet. Let's see. The ode to the 80s horror follows a group of counselors after they accidentally unleash a decades-old evil on the last night of summer camp. As the mayhem and madness turn bloody, the staff in Camp Briarbrook are forced to confront what stories are worth telling and secrets worth keeping. You guys, check out the trailer of this movie. This shit looks spooky as fuck. It looks like the Blair Witch coming to life, but you see the woman that comes from the woods. She looks pretty terrifying. And I don't know, I just kind of was in the mood to watch this tonight, so figured I'd do this unboxing. But that being said, those are the 12 titles, the first physical media haul of the year. Let me know if you've seen any of these movies in the comments, if you'd like me to review any of these movies in particular. And once again, thank you to everybody that watched my complete horror movie collection video I put out last weekend. I got a lot of good feedback on the collection, which I appreciate. It's been a long time collecting all this stuff, but if you haven't checked that video out yet, go back and check it out. And for anybody that's seen it or is going to watch it, feel free to suggest me to review any movie in my collection, and I'll do it, no problem. And with that being said, on this upcoming Sunday, I'm going to follow up with something I did similar last year. I'm going to go over all the movies on my spinning rack behind me, which that is everything I own that is not horror. So I have quite a bit of action movies, quite a bit of comedies and dramas, and even documentaries. So a lot of random stuff, boutique label releases, a lot of good stuff in there, because I don't just keep all my boutique labels together. So be sure to check that out on Sunday at noon. And then around 6 or 7, we're going to go live with Total Recall Volume 3. I'll update you guys in the community tab once I get a hold of Carlos and we find out what time we want to do this show. But once again, I appreciate everybody for watching. And like I said, I'm going to really try to get on a grind on this channel. I'm going to be trying to do 2 to 3 videos a week in a live stream. Trying to get the subscribers up. Trying to, make a run of this a little bit. Like I said, I'm when I work second shift, the problem is you're pretty much laying around all day before you go into work, and I'm not necessarily in the mood to do videos. And then when I get home from work, everyone in my house is sleeping, and I don't want to just be up all night talking. So, and then, wrestling on weekends, there's times I had to record videos like right before I left for the wrestling show, and I got out of work late, so I'm going on 4 hours of sleep. It just became a bit of a bitch. But I try to look on the bright side of going to first shift, and I thought, I have so much more time to record videos, so I'm going to give it a good try and see what happens, you know what I mean? So anybody who's been around for a while, I appreciate you guys watching. And I will see you guys in a couple days. Blood, Guts, Gore. Check you guys next time.